NASA's Perseverance rover has successfully completed the first year since touching down on Mars. Weighing roughly 1,025 kilograms, Perseverance is the heaviest rover ever to safely land on Mars and also returns with dramatic videos of its landing. The six-wheeled scientist achieved many insights into the red planet, including the first rock core samples from another planet. The 28-mile wide, 45 kilometers, Jezero is a great place to do such work on Mars, mission team member says, because it hosted a big lake and a river delta in the ancient past. Here on Earth, river deltas are great at preserving carbon-containing organic compounds, the building blocks of life, and residues of life itself, so Perseverance handlers are eager to check Jezero's delta out. As water is an extremely important part of the existence of all known life on Earth, anywhere it could be found on Mars, whether in the modern day or in the ancient past, is a good place to be looking for evidence of life on the planet. The rover's ultimate target is near Jezero's western edge, a large fan-shaped pile of sediments that wash into the basin through a notch in the crater rim about 3.5 billion years ago. In other words, the target is a river delta, the exact type of environment that could preserve signs of ancient Martian life forms. Percy has instead made some wonderful discoveries about the crater. Some researchers thought that Jezero's floor would be made of sedimentary rock, but Percy proved them wrong. The rover found that the crater's floor was made of igneous rocks that formed as molten rock cooled and solidified billions of years ago. This particular discovery was important as igneous rocks help scientists analyze the radioactive decay of elements inside them to determine how old the rocks are. Researchers will be able to date rocks from specific places for the first time if and when Perseverance samples return to Earth. The search for life on Mars is certainly a key objective of the Mars mission. According to NASA, the mission takes the next step by not only seeking signs of habitable conditions on Mars in the ancient past, but also searching for signs of past microbial life itself. The rover could even enable humans to live on Mars in the future. One of its instruments is designed to produce oxygen from the Martian atmosphere. From the minerals left behind, we can tell that the lake water was not too acidic and not too salty, says Vasavada. We also found carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, and other elements that life requires, he says. And perhaps most importantly, Curiosity found potential sources of energy for microbial life there. This spot on Mars indeed was habitable if life ever was present, said Vasavada. The Perseverance rover has so far collected 6 rock core samples from Mars. Scientists expect that these rocks could provide a key chronology for the formation of Jezero crater and the age of the lake that once resided there. Apart from serving as an indispensable base station for Ingenuity, the first helicopter on Mars, the rover also tested the first prototype oxygen generator on the red planet called MOXIE, Mars Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment. 2 more samples will be collected in the coming weeks from the Chaal rock type, named with the Navajo term for frog, a set of dark, rubbly rocks representative of what's seen across much of the crater floor, NASA said. Jezero's igneous rocks also appear to have been altered by interaction with liquid water, said Kevin Hand of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California, the co-leader of Perseverance's first science campaign. Then, sometime in the early 2030s, a sequence of spacecraft should return those samples to Earth for up-close scrutiny, possibly allowing scientists to at last answer the question of whether the solar system was ever home to more than one life-bearing world. Perhaps past microbial life could have existed on Mars when it was a little warmer and a little wetter, says Laurie Glaze, director of NASA's Planetary Science Division. The surface of Mars, the geology, the geologic history, is preserved. We can see back 4.3 billion years on the surface. You can't do that in other places. However, when the rover wasn't acting as a communications base, Perseverance was performing scientific observations on Jezero crater using its array of instruments and robotic arm. Perseverance will return to Octavia E. Butler landing once complete with this first campaign in 2022 and will drive north, starting the rover's second science campaign. Thanks to Curiosity, scientists found that ancient Mars likely had the right chemistry to support living microbes. According to NASA, by drilling into Martian rocks, the rover discovered what are believed to be the key ingredients for life: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. Analyzing the makeup of the rocks, the rover found clean minerals and not too much salt. That tells researchers there once might have been drinkable water on the red planet. Curiosity detected radiation levels that exceed NASA's career limit for astronauts. With this data in hand, the space agency's engineers can build spacecraft and spacesuits that are able to protect humans on deep space missions. A key objective for Perseverance mission on Mars is astrobiology. The rover will characterize the planet's geology and past climate. Subsequent NASA missions, in cooperation with ESA, European Space Agency, would send spacecraft to Mars to collect these sealed samples, from the surface and return them to Earth for in-depth analysis. The Mars Perseverance mission is part of NASA's Moon to Mars exploration approach, which includes Artemis missions to the Moon that will help prepare for human exploration of the Red Planet. To complete these scientific goals, the rover has been fitted with several scientific instruments, each designed to perform different experiments or test new technology. These include an advanced ultraviolet scanner and microscopic camera known as Sherlock, scanning habitable environments with Raman and luminescence for organics and chemicals. Just like its detective namesake, Sherlock will look for the tiniest clues that could help solve the mystery of past life on Mars. It will also carry samples of astronaut spacesuit material, testing to see whether they can withstand the harsh Martian environment. Telescopic observers on Earth claim that they saw methane gas, a gas quite similar to natural gas on Earth, in Mars' atmosphere in the years before the rover arrived, says Vasavada. It seemed to come and go in large plumes, he says. Nothing else, just the large plumes. This was quite surprising because methane is thought to be destroyed quickly by other chemicals and wasn't thought to be present, he notes. Curiosity, however, is equipped with a special sensor for methane, and the rover has found a tiny background level of methane averaging about 1 part methane per 2 billion parts of Mars air, says Vasavada, and a few times over the last 8 years, he says, the rover has detected spikes of 10 to 20 times as much. NASA scientists have wanted Curiosity to study Mount Sharp and its geological layers since the robot landed on Mars now. The rover is about 2 miles away and nearing an outcrop of a base layer of the mountain. When planning missions to Mars, scientists and engineers will choose a specific time to launch their rockets so that the trip to Mars is as easy as possible. This is typically when Mars and the Earth are almost at their closest points to one another, partly because it's a shorter trip, but mostly because the motion of the Earth at that time is ideal for slinging the spacecraft out to reach Mars some 8 months later. In reality, the path the spacecraft takes in that time is much longer than the minimum distance between Mars and the Earth, simply because travel in space rarely happens in a dead straight line, instead of curving somewhat like the orbits of the planets they're visiting. Now that we've come to the end of this video, I want to thank you for sticking with me, and I'd love to know what you think of it. Just comment down below. Also, if you like this video, please make sure you like it and stay safe. The video is over, but if you want to see more, there's one on your screen right now, and there are a few more fun videos coming soon. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, stay safe, and be happy, guys.